Let me stop there. The bag actually has a voice recorder on it. So we're recording the entire session for you guys. So that's for two reasons. Notice I repeated all of your names when I went through them. Hopefully I can remember them all. Hillary, right? Brittany. Why did I get Hillary? Oh my God. I have no idea. I know, right? I usually see 60 people a week. Trying to keep names straight is all by itself. But the reason why I have the audio recording is for you guys. I don't listen to it because I already have the stories memorized unless I need to remember Brittany's name, whatever I'm going to call her tonight. And then you guys can listen for EVPs, Electronic Voice Phenomenon. So if you guys find something, you're going to have my contact info. You guys get in touch with me, let me know what you found. I'll research it, analyze it, and see what's going on. So that's the first piece of data that you're going to get back. This is the next piece. So we're going to be going through the thermal imaging. You guys should be able to see me in that camera. I'm red, orange, and yellow. For my bridal parties, it usually means I'm the hottest thing in the video, but this is obviously not a bridal party. But we're literally looking for blue and black spots to move on their own. Those are our colder areas. There's also a blue dot that's bouncing around, giving us our coldest spot in the frame at that particular time. It will move often when you guys are watching this. I also left the center crosshair, so if we need to measure something directly, we can move the camera and adjust it so that way we can actually find where that cold spot is coming from. So this is kind of a start and stop kind of thing because I don't want to waste a whole lot of film for you guys, watching us walk to places. So with that said, Chris, you're going to have this guy. Okay. You're going to hold it horizontal all night. The red square means that it's recording. I'll give you the cues for the start and stop. I already have it start on recording, so you guys can have this on both ends in case your audio goes bad for all of the different types of devices.
We're good.
All right, let's get into spirit boxes.
Good news, you're all orange and red, so you're all alive.
So none of us are ghosts. That's
yeah.
what you mean.
That's
sorry to let you down.
You're stealing my thunder. No, I'm kidding. So spirit boxes, this is a way for us to communicate with the dead. So this is going to sweep through all of the FM radio stations at a very, very quick rate. So the ones on TV just give you the white noise, right? And then the host or lead investigator puts in the center of the screen what he wants you to believe he heard. We're going to be doing that in real time. Mine are set up a little bit slower because I want the radio chatter to come through. The song lyrics, the DJs, the commercials, all of that stuff needs to come through. So the reason for that is if you can make something out, then it's a 50-50 shot. We can tie it to the location of where we are, a person in history that I'm talking about, or even something going on with one of you guys. Sometimes you guys bring ghosts with you. It happens all the time. So again, everything you hear, I kind of need to know what it is. Now, this one will record the entire session even when it's on mute. So Alex, when I say go ahead and turn your spirit box down, because you're going to have the only noisemaker tonight. I normally run 3 different types of spirit boxes, but when I say turn it down, it's okay. It's still recording at a nice even level, and it doesn't know anything that we're saying. It's not going to record us, just the internal sweep of the radio stations. Tuesday morning, I'm just going to keep saying that. Tuesday morning, when I give you the recording back, I will give you 15 to 20 audio markers of things that I found, whether they're relevant to the location, the person, or us, or not. The reason for that is so you get used to listening to the rest of the recording. Keep in mind, even with a smaller party like this, we're going to have at least 4 to 5 hours worth of data. I'm not going to go through it all. I'm only going to go through it for about 2 hours. That's what you guys paid me for. You wanted a full investigation. It is field work and the research the next day, or on a next Tuesday. So I'm going to set this up to record, and you have one button to worry about. There's a wheel right here at the top. It controls the volume. You control the volume. That is all you. Alright, so the other spirit box we're going to use is going to give us words in the center of the screen from time to time once it decides it wants to pop up. Where those 3 dots are, you guys will see words pop up from time to time. So Joyce, this one's going to go to you. It's going to give us all of those words into a list. It compiles them all. Last night there were 75 terms that came through. 80% of what comes up out of this thing is absolute bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. Again, I'm not here to make stuff up for you guys. It's the other 5 to 20% where, again, I'll put it in bold and I'll give you the explanation why, plus a backlink to verify what I told you. So again, I'm not here to make anything up. We're going to be going into some deep history here. So at times I'll say, Joyce, where are we at with the word list? You're going to hit the little scroll to the right of the, go ahead and tap it so you get used to it. It'll bring up all the words. You'll be able to scroll through it, and you just tap back. Don't hit any other buttons or else you'll clear the list. All right, that's it. No. All right. Let's see.
What is it?
So me, you're my multitasker.
Okay.
So this device is called a millimeter. So what it does, you guys seen the K2 meters on the TV shows, right? Where it has the lights that go up and down and kind of use it as a call and answer. It doesn't have the lights that work in that fashion for that function. The big number at the top where it says 0.4, anything above 2.5, that's our EMF reading, electromagnetic fields.
Okay.
So again, a cell phone or something along those nature might make this one go up a little bit, but it usually goes after paranormal stuff only. So again, anything above 2.5 and kind of stays there, I kind of want to know what's going on. The bottom number that you see is temperature. So in case Chris finds something over here, then we'll be able to debunk where the temperature is coming from, that temperature drop, with the probe at the top. Because this is ambient temperature, so whatever, there's a little antenna right here. Last thing that it has where everybody gets excited, it actually has a motion sensor in it called a REM pod. So if anything gets close to this antenna, it will go off. Notice I have it pointing down right now so I don't blind everybody. When you have it, it's very bright.
Oh, wow.
Just so you know.
It's really bright.
Yeah, so I'm going to actually turn it off right now and show you more about it at our first location. Just focus on how these numbers move around for now. Leave the little flap open in the back so I can show you more about it.
Game I played on the stream with the guys about eating ghosts.
Phantasmagoria.
Yes.
That one's so creepy, though.
Phasmophobia.
That's
That's what
Phasmophobia, is that what it is?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody tells me about it, but I've never played it.
Oh,
I've
man.
wanted to play it.
This is like real life phasmophobia, except for I'm really hoping that I don't die.
Not gonna
Because that happens there.
Alright.
The game, you're basically playing like a horror movie in that game. Like,
It's really cool.
Sounds like the
it's
old,
fun. It's fun when you hear a whole bunch of like older guys screaming,
Grown-ass men
grown-ass
screaming
men
like
screaming
kids.
like little girls.
Yeah.
Notice you guys can't see me in the camera.
Oh.
So it should be pretty dark in there, except for the lights coming by from the car. So we're going to turn on full spectrum lighting. So now I should be in somewhat of a purplish, pinkish hue. We're working with full spectrum lighting on this guy. So again, this is light that you can't see with your own eye. We're looking for things to kind of come out of the creepy darkness of things that shouldn't be able to reflect light. So the only thing you need to worry about, this is obviously kind of a GoPro style. So we're going to save the 90 minutes that we have for haunted locations only, and I'll splice them all together for you guys. So this is kind of your short range. So when you have a bunch of people around you, notice how I bleach out with the full spectrum lighting on. So again, we still have the long range on, which is perfectly fine. So we can shut that off when you're in, the setting of the people and, when we're not spread out, because the long range will still keep going. So the only one you have to worry about is a button right here. There's a little red button above like where this battery is, and then this is a record button. Again, I'll give you the let's get that video going kind of mentality, but for now I want you to get used to how that guy works and moving around. Yes?
I have a question.
Mhm.
What are the numbers?
Those are the radio stations.
Okay, I was curious because it was just on 103. The last time I looked, does it like reset?
No, it keeps.
It's sweeping through every radio station. It'll do it hundreds of times tonight.
Okay.
So it's just going to keep going. You'll get used to how to listen to it probably at our first stop.
Alright.
So now that everybody has something in their hand and actually is going to be working, in the event we get some writing things down, when you hear stuff, you'll see me writing things down so that way I don't miss it for your analysis, because I might not catch it in my spot check. Yours doesn't record anything, so I definitely have to manually record it. All right.
Do I keep this recording while we're walking, or?
Yeah, you're going to keep it going just through this first location, and then we'll kind of, I'll give you the next stop. You have words coming up already. What do you got coming up? Tolerance, sample, and handle. Absolutely nothing that gives me, again, 30 to 80%. So let's talk about the place. Is this, again, questions, comments, concerns so far? Nope. He's like, nope, I can see you. All right, so the reason why I asked you guys to meet me across from Big John's is because they just reopened a few weeks ago. And it used to be called Big John's back in the 50s through the 70s. It was named after a football player, played for the 1947 New York Giants. His name was Big John Kennedy, not Kennedy. So with that said, this was his place. He sat in the back of the bar and would tell the cadets that were coming over from the Citadel if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, two guys come in. They're not old enough to drink. He has a bartender throw them out. They come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John sees what's going on, and he's not happy. He starts pounding these two kids into the floor, like just beating the hell out of them. A couple of shots go off. John gets hit in the neck with the bullet, and the bullet lands in the wall. John gets up after being shot, goes back to the bar, tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the two guys on the floor an ambulance that he just beat up. So, irony of the story is that John's the only one that got shot, and the bullet hole is allegedly still here. I have to go back in and check after these new renovations. People that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headache because of the paranormal activity that's there. Fingers crossed, we're going to be dealing with paranormal activity ourselves tonight. So, in the event anybody feels any of those symptoms, headaches, nauseous, anything like that, I need to know immediately. We're going to move the whole group out of the area to get that person to safety. So, I don't say that to scare you, but I do have to put that heated warning out because it has happened in the past. On a nice cool night like this, I've had people drop like a wet noodle. It's craziness. But anyway.
Oh, God.
You know, and psychics usually don't make it. Like, I don't even know why they bother. So, not that I'm asking if anyone wants to disclaim that they're psychic or not, but it does happen. So, let's talk about something other than our own health. So, you guys have taken other tours here. You know that we had a big earthquake here in 1886. So, this is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. It's a big deal for us on the earthquake because this is South Carolina. We don't have earthquakes here. So, yes.
Isn't that the earthquake that completely rocked the prison?
Yes. Yep.
I remember hearing about it the other day. Sorry.
But with the death, the mantle you guys see in the middle of the building, that big white mantle in the middle, it also wraps around the front. A piece of it broke off from the earthquake, hit somebody in the back of the head, and apparently killed him. They say you can see his ghost in the middle of the night. I say all this apparently and allegedly only because I don't have any proof of this story. It's one of those tour guide grapevine stories. It's just a great segue so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on the tour. So, are you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Yeah.
We're going to go this way.
Yeah. Just checking out the camera.
Believe it or not, I actually prefer smaller groups like this. I just feel like we're actually having a little bit more fun. Last night I had a group of 10, and I was bouncing around, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. But with this, like, you guys are like already on top of it, you guys can keep up. It's gonna be good. Alright, so welcome to the Big Red Barn Lot. This is where we keep the horses for the carriage rides. So the only history here is a one-liner, because you're going to think of your entire time with me as kind of a ghost hunting 101. This is level 1, things are going to be super easy. We're not going to be here long, it's literally like a 5-minute session, so I can bounce around and show you guys more tactics with your devices, and then we're going to move on to much deeper
3.6.
history.
Oh, it's not.
That's good. We're not going to hang out and say, hi, I'm right
It's
here.
so weird.
That's why they call it ghost hunting. 3.6 is good. Don't let me forget to write that one down.
Okay.
Alright, so history here is super simple. This is the same red barn where we held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. That's it. Spirit boxes. So we have put them in the same party tonight for a reason, just so I can keep focused. So this is not, is somebody here? Like they do on TV, right? Because those are yes or no questions. Because if they answer no, that means somebody's here. So I don't know why they do all the yes or no questions on TV. It's all BS. But anyway, we're going to ask things that we actually already know the answers to here. If somebody's here, tell me what color the big red barn is. Obviously, we're going to be listening and looking for the color red. But keep in mind, you're using DJs and song lyrics to convey messages back to us. The color red, the word red, might not be in the vocabulary. They might come up with another word, fire truck, blood, heart. All three of those things are very specifically red. What color is the big red barn? Fire truck. That's an acceptable answer. However, I normally look for two things as far as clues to make sure we can solidify what's actually happening. We're also pretty close to Big John's Tavern. His teammates like to come through all the time. If you hear the number 40 on yours and you see the word art on yours, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. You guys see where I always look for the two clues? So again, unless it's a direct answer, I need double clues to verify that we actually have legitimate activity happening. In the event you don't get anything with the color red, fire truck, blood, or heart, or anything along those lines, ask what's inside the barn. Now you just opened it up. There's animals in there. They're horses. They're draft horses. They were delivery horses. They delivered milk and eggs. Milk and eggs could also be protein and calcium. I've seen that happen before. What's inside the barn? Horses, protein, and eggs. That's pretty simple. So again, sodium will come up from time to time, but I have no proof that they ever delivered salt. I don't know why they like to go to the scientific name, but It happens. But that's basically how we're going to be using spirit boxes all night long. No yes or no questions. There's always a way to reword the questions. So if the two of you want to kind of go experiment with your spirit box, kind of keep in mind the horses do not like the loud noise on your end, so kind of keep it audible to the two of you only. So that way they're not getting spooked and kick the wall, and then there'll be a mess, and it's because everybody's going to piss their pants and that kind of mess, and we don't want to get into that. So again, I'm not your typical tour guide. So I am going to keep the other three back with me for just a moment so I can show them more tactics about your devices, but the two of you, go experiment. Stay within the confines of this lot, see what you can come up with. Alex is like, yeah, let's go. All right, so do you get the gist of why I want to try to keep somebody's skin temperature in there? Did I go over that? I don't think I did. So
Just cold and everything?
well, for example, point your camera this way, because you shouldn't have anybody in there. With my hand going into view, everything's going to kind of change color. Even though we have a smaller group, you want to try to keep somebody's skin temperature in there, only because
Just
we're
keep
going
it calibrated.
yeah, it's going to obviously give us a bigger array of color and calibrate more often. So again, we want that array of color. The next stop, I'm going to show you some evidence of what I actually caught with that camera, so you can actually have a better gist of what you're looking for.
Okay.
But at the same token, you're looking for blue and black spots to move on their own, maybe even cover up somebody's part of their body, so their face that shouldn't be covered up. But I've seen all kinds of things come out of that, and it doesn't always catch something every single night. It's one of those, it has to be on record at the right time to be able to catch it.
Right.
Unfortunately, as far as your camera, again with yours, just play with this little red button here when we're in that group setting. Shut it on and off, kind of get used to what's going on. So that way nothing is like kind of bleaching out. I can see it like getting brighter on your shirt because my hand bleached the whole thing out. Play around with it, see what works. If you need to move the camera, do so. You just gotta muscle it a little bit, move it back and forth, tilt it however you need it to go. It is, again, a GoPro in a weatherproof case. If it gets too loose, we can always tighten things back up. Not a big deal.
And what exactly am I looking for on screen?
On screen, you're gonna see things. Go ahead and point it at me, for example. I should be in, turn that guy back on. See how I'm in the purple circle?
Yeah.
I'm looking for things that pop up that are outside of the circle, things that aren't supposed to reflect light. So again, where my hand is up here, it should be dark.
Yes.
Right now, my hand should glow.
Okay, so he's saying like
Something
so
is
I'm looking for something above the circle
Or
of
outside the circle
Yeah.
that should
Around
not
it.
reflect light. When we're obviously in more open spaces, you're going to see it's going to be pretty dark. So if something pops up out of there, and I can make a shape out of it and get a quick still shot, awesome. Like, you can't get any better than that. If we can make out what it is, even better.
And does this record or take a snapshot?
It will record video.
Okay.
So when I say go ahead and get that video started, that's when we're going to go ahead and obviously go through the investigation piece. Let's talk about your REM pod. So you've obviously seen how the top numbers move, right? So until he says he's got something weird, we're going to actually turn the temperature off. So what I'm doing is I'm putting all the battery juice into the EMF reading.
Okay.
So let's talk about your REM pod. That's the antenna.
Oh.
So let's pull up the antenna first. You always want to do that first because it gets super annoying when you touch it and you already have it on.
Oh, yeah.
So now flip it around to the back. You see two little white buttons. The one closer to the edge is the one you want. You want to click it all the way into place. It'll go flush with the back of the machine. Perfect. Now flip it around back to you. Now it is going to, whenever you jostle it, I normally give this device to females because you guys walk more gracefully than you do. So for example, if me or Austin weren't using this, with every step it's going to go off. You got something going on because that's not me and it's not you. You're being perfectly still. The EMF that's being generated around the antenna is different than what's being measured here. You can have a reading here independently. At times, sorry, I'm losing my voice already. At times, I'll say, let's do a call and answer. That's it. Hey, Eliza, make this thing go to blue and stay there. So you're going to see there's different colors in that array.
So that means they get like closer.
They get closer and they can stay put because they know how close they need to be to be able to make it go to that color.
Okay.
You get a lot of answers that way. So again, they're using spirit boxes to get direct answers. You can get the presence answers out of that. And again, your big numbers can read zeros while you're getting activity here.
Okay.
So it's just the way it works. It's an amazing tool. It's very accurate. And the other ones that you see on TV, just so you know, only go up to 25 milligauss. That's the unit of measure that we use. This one I've seen spike out at 149.
Oh, wow.
And that's at our next location. So again, we'll see what happens. I say we follow up with ladies and see if they heard over there, and then we're gonna go on to our next stop so we can deep dive into some
when
deeper
we're
history.
all walking, should I turn this off?
I will. It's kind of like with Alex's spirit box. I'll say, so turn the spirit box down. It's the same thing for your REM pod because that's distracting for me to tell the story
Yeah.
and give you the history. So that way you'll just shut off that little white button in the back. In the event that it's your jostling that's making, like you're walking, that's making it go off, there are 4 buttons on the right-hand side. The very bottom one is the one you want to tap to kind of reset it to make sure it's on cue. You still have the button if it's still going off caption, that it stops. If it doesn't stop, it's obviously something out of that we can't see going on.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about that. That was a little muddy. All right, let's see what we got going on over here.
I kneel down. Kneel pop up.
Word what?
Kneel. I kneel down like this. Sit down.
So there's a Greg with a double G on Big John. So again, until I get that roster, again, that's very interesting.
I didn't hear anything though. I did sufficiently freak out.
Neil,
Yeah.
welcome to the next time. Let's go learn some deeper history. Let's go down this way. What was the number you gave me earlier? 4.3.6.
Well,
She knelt down on the curb, and it popped up with the word kneel. It's funny. Funny now, people are not getting up front with us. That's great, huh?
Okay, this is where we park on Christmas.
So you didn't hear anything at all going on with the...
Sorry.
Okay. So, fingers crossed we're going to hear. Probably turn off your REM pod here. You can give your hand a break. You know, you can probably stop your... Watch the car, because this is the only way in and out. You can stop your video here, because you're going to have... Once we get started, this is exactly where it happened. Again, we get a lot of different things out of this particular lot. We are going to spread out. Keep in mind, people do not like their cars being filmed. There are 2 cameras in play tonight, so if somebody's walking to their car, you're just simply walking the other way. So that way we're not making anybody angry. You can be to your car. I think that about covers the base questions. If you guys do go rogue with your questions, make sure you tell me what those questions are and if you got an answer. So again, I still learn new things about the Pinckneys every single tour that I do because there's documents upon documents upon documents of these people. So if something comes through, I need to know what it is. If you guys go rogue with questions, I can't prove feelings, dates, names, birthdays, whatever you guys want to ask. That's the kind of stuff that we can actually prove. So this is where I get to check you guys in on the different, because you guys ordered your tickets in different ways, so I got to check you guys in. So give me a few minutes to get, you guys checked in, you guys get started, get your video started, and again, have some fun in here. Yes.
Is it just kind of this square, or is it over there too?
Oh no, we're going this way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
think,
you guys are gonna
around
explore.
This, like,
So it's just this square.
Yep. So this, their mansion sat in the front. Eliza's garden was lined up with where that truck is and came all the way across. And again, this is where the servant and slave quarters were. So that kind of gives you the layout of the land over here. Anything here in the slave and servant quarters, I can't prove. There's no record of them. So I got a few first names. That's it. That's all I can prove. I can't tell you what job they were, who they were married to, where, how long they were here, whatever. I can't do any of that stuff. This is not there. Anything else from the garden on, I can prove. We can find it. So let me take a look at your word list real quick before you guys spread out.
It jumped up to 4.6.
4.6 again?
It was 3.6 last time.
Whoa, we got a lot of blue light.
That's crazy.
She said 4.6 and a blue light went all
And you
the way
were
across.
recording?
Yes.
Awesome. keep it on it for just a few minutes, just to make sure it's not going to be duplicated.
Yeah, I pointed to you.
Did anything flash on your end?
Oh, let me turn that back on.
So no, it wasn't from that part of the.
No.
It was a blue like circle, just did a zigzag and was going.
See, that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. And of course, I want to look at it to make sure it was legit. But yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. But explore the lot. As far as the cars, try not to go in between them. People get a little angry that way. But yeah, start exploring. Let me check you guys in. Turn up that spirit box. Listen intently. You're not bothering anybody in this lot, like not like the horses over there. So again, turn it up. Listen in.
It's
If you guys want to
back
work
up.
together. 4.6 again.
It was up to 4.9.
Yeah, her like arm and everything like that, it's starting to get kind of like blotchy and like changing colors. Like it went from like black
Where's
to blue.
the, like,
To, like
showing
her
the-
hand isn't very well defined.
Well, she does have that box in her hand.
Right. Yeah, I just want to make sure it did go down to 76 as well.
It's like coming and going. Oh, we're going back up. Down.
Can we go?
Yeah, spread out. I was kind of curious to see what he was catching.
Hasn't come back.
That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Who is John?
Was the mansion a Charleston single, or do you know?
No, it was not. It was actually out of tradition.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's
It actually
illegal.
faced the street, like
Yeah.
the front of it faced the street. So
Yo, I kind of want to go with the spirit boxes if they're asking questions. Let's go for the walk.
yeah,
Did I turn my thing on?
yeah, definitely get that thing going. Even if you're moving around, like if you guys are walking, it's perfectly fine. Like, see, bring your jostle a little bit just from the way you walk. That's okay. And even at times, if you want to like find a curve, if you're making it move around too much, set it down. Find a curve over there. There's the curves that block the cars. Just put it on one of those and ask, see what happens from there.
Okay.
Just to make sure it's not your movements. So, but right now your highest spike is at 4.9.
Yep.
I need to check. Thermal and full spectrum. Alright, let me check you guys in. Let's see.
Do you need us?
Nope, you guys, you guys are free to spread out, man. Free to spread out.
We went up to 6.
Remember that?
Hey, Dad, see anything?
Not really.
I always figured by gates is a good place to start.
Yeah.
What about over there?
Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to keep a person in it so it's properly calibrated.
Huh?
I'm supposed to keep a person in it so it's properly calibrated. So there has to be a person in the frame.
In other words, you have to follow that. Ask about eyes. What color are your eyes?
I was getting a lot of activity.
Because this is exactly where the evidence is that I wanted to show you.
I was getting a lot of activity, like over here. If you guys want to go over there and ask questions. Okay. It got up to 23.8.
Okay, that's awesome. Again, the other one only goes to 25, so let's see if we can find, I'm going to write that one down too, for sure. That definitely beats the 4.9.
Oh, yeah.
So this actually occurred right in this corner right here. Trying to see if you can see the whole thing. Come on. There's going to be 2 living people walking past the wall right there. Do you see them?
Yeah.
So we're going to fast forward to the dead people. We're going to come across this way right here.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
That's not a car.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like a head.
Well, there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
So firemen use that as their part of the job.
Right.
So I've been on like Zoom calls with them. Like, all right, guys, let's analyze this shit frame by frame and kind of see what we're looking at. You can see 2 heads.
Yeah.
Like moving. It's crazy.
And they were moving fast too.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
So it's an interesting tool. It's just. I wish it caught something every night.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be half as interesting if that were the case.
Well, I would tell you.
Or half as fun.
The spirit box. Like, I've yet to have a tour that didn't have stuff come through.
Right.
Some are lighter than others, but
How long have you been doing this?
the tour's about 2 years now.
2 years.
Like ghost hunting, I've been doing for about 10.
Okay.
So, like that lighthouse investigation, I was called on for that one from another podcast. So, yeah, we want you to lead this thing. I'm like, okay. Refund my tickets then, because
Yeah.
I'm not paying to come to work. Like, that just ain't how it's supposed to go.
Nope.
Are we hearing anything at all on that thing?
Just whatever's coming through, really.
We need phrases and terms. I didn't turn it up to the hair.
Is that too much?
Nope, you're good. Just wanted enough so I can hear it, so I can kind of show you what I listen to.
I don't know what else to ask.
What did you ask so far?
What happened to the mansion? Mom told me to ask something about eye color.
Okay.
I asked that, and then I asked about her maiden name.
Okay, let's stick with the mansion, because that was the first one you told me. So, Eliza, tell us what happened to your mansion that was here. Or latest something. I don't know what the rest of it said.
I thought I heard Charlie, but
I thought it said latest Charlie, but that would be too easy. Because we're dealing with 3 different Charleses here, so... Eliza, tell us what happened to the mansion that was here. Or Charles. Any readings here at all?
I was having a lot, but I haven't.
I'm watching yours one. I'm just kidding. You didn't have those.
Any crazy terms coming up on your end? You got Hazel, is that why you asked?
Liza with the
Eliza.
Eliza. What did you-
Eliza. Oh.
Am I allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, I got it.
Eliza, how old are you?
Well, that could go by
Yeah,
date and current time or date when she died.
that's why
Either
either
works.
I probably should say like how old were you?
How old were you when?
Eliza, how old were you when you died?
It was great.
The other picture of her, you can't tell.
Did you guys hear anything? Dad,
What?
do you have anything to ask?
Not really. See, I'd have something weird, like,
Huh?
I'd have something weird, like, did you like fried chicken or something, you know?
Eliza, do you like to dance?
That's a yes or no question.
Shoot.
Yeah, that's it.
I will catch it every time.
Do you prefer to line dance or
That could still
Still a
be
yes or
yes
no
or
question.
twerk?
I don't know.
Original.
That's a common number for the kids.
not how many kids she had.
Wow.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would have been good.
Let's find a better spot with you, so that way everybody knows where to go. Because you're kind of like the lead right now. Everybody needs to know where the high EMF is occurring. So, when I go through that recording, I listen for about a minute for every 5. So whatever. That's why I write down the things that. Nothing underneath this. They've never done a dig unit. Never. So there's no wiring, no anything. There's no reason why you should have any reading. So again, this is where I've seen all the way up to where and this just the site. I don't know the exact location. It's perfect to that kind of. Yeah, there was a lot going on. So I'm looking
Oh
for
wow,
like
17,
20s,
18.
30s. Nice.
Eliza, how many kids do you have?
Heard 7?
Huh?
Did I hear 7?
If you did, it's not relevant. I mean, normally numbers are very relevant. Like, they normally don't lie, they pertain to something. So if you heard 7, I'll definitely be looking for it and see if there's a tie in there somewhere. Because again, we 2 of us thought we heard the name Charlie.
Right.
So again, it could be one of the Charleses that's here.
The
Right.
two of us also thought we heard 6
6.
after I asked how many kids. And actually, I thought I heard it again just a minute ago. And you already said it wasn't 6 kids, so.
So how do typical questions, like your basic questions, like can you show us that you're here, or show us a sign, stuff like that?
That's where I use this guy. So with this, she has that REM pod going on. Eliza, you know how this box with the metal stick works. Get close to it and always do a demo, so watch your eyes. Make it go to blue. You know how it goes. You can make it go to different colors. So again, I do get, and I usually use blue here because of indigo. It's just relevant. So to me, like, I'll get a lot of answers that way with that particular box. So that show me a sign stuff, I ask for something specific. I want the proof and the verification. Again, the TV stuff that they do, it's all for like, oh my God, it went nuts, and then they go on for like 10 minutes. It's like, they didn't do anything. They didn't get any verification. The EMF could have been, you know, from something else.
Show me a sign could be yes or no too.
Exactly.
Now, is it normal for the blue dot to be like 20 or 30 degrees lower than
No.
the cross Earth? Okay, because it's been bouncing. You see where that Toyota is over there behind the sign? It's been bouncing between that and the sign for like a hot minute. And
So
it's like
glass is always going to be colder. So
Okay.
do you see the black spots?
yeah.
Those are the windshields of those vehicles. That would probably be about 15 to 18 degrees cooler.
Yeah, it's been anywhere from 20 to about 35, all depending.
Yeah, that's a little extreme.
Yeah, because like the blacktop, they have it around 81, 82. And I mean, it's been getting down to like
Yeah.
57,
It's
54.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
that's
yeah,
something like
that's
that,
why
so-
I'm like,
So I'll
there
definitely
has
be
to
looking at those for
somebody's
sure.
like
And
floating
if you
or
want to
like
walk over
is
there and
around
kind of
this area.
just get a quick film. I know people don't like their cars being filmed, but see what's going on in between.
Also, thermal imaging.
Like, this is true history. So it's a matter of who's here and why. And again, I come here 6 nights a week. So I keep learning and learning and learning and learning because something's going to pop up. I know about all of her kids now. I know about her. I know about her husband. I know about all the different political things that they used to do. Again, a lot of this stuff comes up, like the pallbearer president thing. That wasn't something the tourism office taught me. That came up on evidence twice in 1 week. I'm like, there's got to be a tie. You don't hear that name on the radio twice in 1 week. It just doesn't happen. So again, it was just weird. So I looked into it. Boom. It's a great question for us to ask because it's a weird fact. But let's get some more volume. Anything?
When I went over there, I mean, the blacktop was still around 81, 82, and the temperature around the cars was around roughly about 54, 55.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was right there on the edge.
All right. I would expect something like that more in the wintertime with that kind of variance. Not when we're going into fall.
Right.
I mean, it's not extreme temperatures right now. Like, this is pretty cool.
Right.
So,
This is why I'm wearing
something for sake. If you're not Eliza, tell us who you are. Who's here with us? Do you have any names coming up at all? You're getting some pretty high readings.
Yeah.
And that 43 that you gave me, or whatever the 40s something was. I mean, I wrote it down.
Spiked up to 60.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did give me the 62. Painful.
What was the question about the gear tag?
Yeah. What president carried her to her grave?
Eliza, if you're here, can you tell me what president carried you to your grave?
What was saying is like you look right there by the window. Kind of looks like a person, so it's kind of like a famous person.
I want to see, but I don't want to cross in front so you don't lose it. I'm going to come in between.
It's right there by the window. Spring.
Lewis and John.
That's a spout right there.
Right. And the thing is, like it was a little bit more well defined
Okay.
about 30 seconds ago, and it was kind of like more like you could see like shoulders and a head. You know?
Yeah.
Versus
You
like
can almost you see this darker spot up here. I'll be looking at that in depth too.
right.
Although it is staying there,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to move. Again, there's always going to be blue and black. I just need them to move so I can see
Right.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
This one's moving like crazy. I mean, if it's a stack, I mean, it shouldn't really be moving like that. You know?
I thought I heard two names, Lewis and John. I don't know how relevant that was to
well,
the question.
keep in mind, first off, we're close to Big John Tavern. So John is relevant for sure. And as far as Lewis goes, you're close on the maiden name. It was Lucas.
Oh, I could have misheard it, honestly.
Again, she might be reaching for straws. I normally don't stretch. What do you got?
Does this thing record in intervals, like hit a time point and then restart the recording?
Yes, 9 minutes and 26 seconds.
Got it. I was gonna say it just restarted itself, and I was like,
It only goes to 4 gigs per file,
okay.
so that way it doesn't overload itself. So you guys will see when you get your video back, it's not even in the right order because it just doesn't, it won't do it. All right, I say we get you guys some answers. Let's head over this way. Come on, Britt.
Come on, Willard. Can I read with you?
All right, you guys can stop your videos, give your hands a break. You can. But obviously, we weren't listening for names. Did we get any names? Well, give everybody
More people. You said y'all are from near Columbus?
Huh?
You said y'all are from near Columbus?
Yeah, we're like an hour north of
Yeah.
Columbus.
Ohio State fan?
Okay.
No.
She is.
So when
No,
we
but-
crossed that last
My
crosswalk, that was
family.
where
They
the
lose?
original
Yeah.
Charlestown
Good. Who
Wall
they play
used to
today?
be.
They played,
So Cumberland, yeah, Charleston used to be called Charlestown, the walled
Yes.
city.
I can't remember.
That's
I
where
don't
the
watch
wall
Oh,
a lot
that's
of
right. It
college.
was a lot.
So this
I'm
is
just a
one of the
diehard
first,
Ravens
we can probably shut your REM pod off here. It's going to be coming from anything inside the
They're going
restaurant.
for running backs like
Okay.
water.
That's the guarantee. I'm more worried about
Not
the
only
EMF
running
that
backs,
you're going to
Marcus
get.
Okay.
Peters is gone for the year.
Yeah,
But this
like,
is one of the first streets we ever had. This
but
is
we
Lodge
signed
Alley.
Le'Veon Bell.
So the reason why I was asking for a list of
Latavius
names
Murray
and
and
names, I
Devontae
have the
Freeman.
full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. So these two buildings went here. They did do an archaeological dig underneath these clay bricks. The interesting thing about this alley is before it was residential, this is where the Freemasons had their Masonic lodge. That's why it's called Lodge Alley. I've had things like Freemason, Mason, Illuminati, bricks, anything dealing with Freemasonry. So everything under the Brotherhood has shown up here. It's normally not this dark, with Magnolias being closed. I still don't know why. You don't know why Magnolias is been closed by 2 weeks.
I looked it up because we were gonna go eat there and there was a fire.
Okay. So, interesting. Hopefully that'll come up if there's a death occurred. Not that I wish for that. But, again, we never know what we're going to actually get.
Okay, so
Yeah.
these buildings weren't originally.
No. The
Okay.
building behind me is Lodge Alley Inn. Every hotel has a claim of a ghost. So next summer, me and the wife are going to go validate or debunk all of those claims of ghosts. Those will all be in podcast episodes. So if you're going to be following me, you hear about every hotel. We're going to rent a room in every one of them.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of the mentality. We are going to cut through this little groove up here so we can get to the edge of it. So you guys can kind of obviously film during it. Just kind of be mindful not to be in somebody's face with the cameras. And again, we're going to start getting into more popular areas where some of these people are going to be staring at us because you guys joined the weirdo group. You all have blinky lights and cameras and all kinds of craziness. As we get to the end of this alley, it's considered residential. So we're going to be very quick to get to our next stop, where we're going to stop near a cemetery, learn about some of the myths and legends, stuff you guys probably already heard before, but I do get evidence from some of these true stories. So again, we'll see what happens, and then after that, we're going to deep dive into a female pirate over at the Powder Magazine.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, it's a crazy story too. So let's kind of bypass this group up here. We're going to obviously just kind of follow my lead. Again, just casually hold your camera so nobody's getting offended. And then definitely keep that to a minimum once we pass through the group, so if you're going to turn it up. All right, let's keep on
Stay
going.
towards the back, that way I can get over to that.
Perhaps they didn't make it all the way into your body. Perhaps you had a full night's sleep, but you woke up exhausted and tired. If you have, then you live by
Did you see any temperature changes on there?
Not here. I kept seeing, when we were over in the parking lot, I kept seeing what looked like a person, but then when I was looking at it, and with my eyeballs, it was actually right where that smokestack was, but it was moving around like crazy in the video. I'm like, smokestack's made out of metal, man, it ain't gonna move. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you dropped it again and I was gonna laugh at you.
I didn't drop it.
No, that was me just taking my foot first swing.
Well, I don't know you, so I can't laugh at you.
Welcome to South Carolina roads. Get used to it.
It'll bump.
We were going up to Raleigh a couple years ago. Like we were on 95. Yeah. Huh?
35.
Oh.
I'm at like 34 minutes now.
And as soon as we crossed the North Carolina, I was like day and night. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
my tires weren't screaming at me.
I know.
Yeah, that's about how high roads are. best highways look like shitty back alleys.
Yeah, I was going the hard way.
Oh wait, we're under a shower. Parking meters. Okay. I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The stairs right in front of me, but the only time that everyone's running
Wash the garbage can.
Or just say nothing and hope something. It's a principle. They said you can stop.
Already don't like me. Turn on your something on. Yeah. So I got to change out those batteries tomorrow. Yep, you're still good. And then definitely get your recordings going. Let's see. This is normally a dead zone. If you get anything, this is not the Pinckney Mansion site. It is exciting because that means something is probably happening somewhere else too. Because you're not supposed to get spikes. We're anything near, like in these parking spaces all the way down, it's going to be in the 4 to 7 range. You want to kind of explore elsewhere or even go up to the front if you want. The front is still sketchy because of the parking meters.
Yeah.
But again, get your REM pod going. We're going to end over there on that wall. There's a ledge where I can set my bag down when I'm collecting devices, so you can actually set it down and do a call and answer if you'd like. Yes.
So her mom is the mistress, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's all.
And there's more to that story. So I mean, if you want to ask more about that mistress, find out her name, what happened to the mistress, how did she be, who was she? Like, there's more to that I leave out on purpose. So let's have some fun in here. This is our last part. This is our last stop. So let's make it count. Get some good footage. Let's have some fun.
Like, we're allowed to like go like anywhere.
Anywhere you want. If you guys want to go to the front, just don't interrupt other tours. People here box below if you see another tour coming. But yeah, definitely turn up in here. We're not bugging anybody. Have some fun with it. Ask some questions.
Where do you want to go?
This is where I get to chill and smoke. Let you guys do all the work. Yeah, that works out. You guys pay me to go to work?
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool. I saw that.
Okay. I was
That was not you.
Did we
okay,
change
that's why I was
color?
like, was that me? It went all the way up to blue.
It wasn't gradual either. It was
No.
pretty sudden. The fact that she can't create a rate.
And I stopped like mid-step because I was like,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
And if you're here, can you tell me what your father's name was?
on your TV shows, they always say, tell us through the spirit box. You know what the spirit box is? It's the box with the red blinky blinkies. Use the black box with the metal stick. I don't know if you guys noticed that terminology that I use throughout the night, but I never tell them or ask them to use a specific device. I don't even use the word device. Come to this box. They have no idea what this thing is.
And can you tell us your mother's name? Well, that would be a yes or no.
Let's walk and see if we can find another hotspot. Ignore anything you get over here.
Hillary. Yeah, your name is Hillary. Put that shit on the marriage certificate that we already mailed out.
Yeah, you can ignore anything you get over there. It's the light.
Oh. Mother! Walk faster! Work it! Too excited.
So, because I didn't even believe this story, I kind of did a vlog and podcast on like the debunking of this because I have a season pass of this boat and I get nothing inside. So the first night that I'm actually out here was after I got kicked out of Philadelphia Alley. The date here was November 28th, 2020, the exact 300-year anniversary of her trial, the number 300 she got. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Are you getting anything?
You gotta keep moving around. Let's go this way. I don't want to bother those people if they're by the door.
Oh.
What's that? Right there.
Twice.
Where?
She's getting blue right here.
Hey, Dad.
That's good. Are these chimney stacks supposed to be significantly colder than the rest of the brick, or?
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, the reason why I ask is like if you come up here where the wall is, it's like a 60 to 70 degree difference.
It's looking past it.
Okay.
So whenever you have sky, it's going to put that blue dot in the sky every time because it doesn't know what to measure.
Okay, there we go. All right, makes sense. It's
Good
kinda
catch, though.
It's kind of like, whoa, hold up.
Ask where the child was born.
Can you tell us your name?
Ask where the child was born. Ask where the child over here when he did something else in high school.
Where the child
I think where the child was born.
Where was the child born?
The New World.
And tell us where you gave birth to your first child. Bring it.
Roger.
Come on, Ann, tell us where you had your first child at. chase when that went off.
Seems like kind of playing cat and mouse here.
Now, they say you can actually see and catch things about me all over Charleston. I like to come here because this is it's the same time period, so the building's familiar.
My back hurts. I'm standing up straight. I don't do that. I hunched over a little.
Honestly, we need to follow.
It did say chase.
I stopped here at 48 because I had one night where we had all kinds of things happening only in this court. It was weird. And again, I still test it from time to time. Doesn't always work out that way. Somebody in storage room with a powder magazine. So this is apartments back here, but the powder magazine still has a storage unit in it. As long as we keep that at that volume, they can't hear us. We're good. Like a weird breeze over this way. Are you getting anything on your camera at all?
I wasn't getting anything. I was looking over here. I mean, I was getting the whole thing with the car again, but
Yeah.
it was only about a 20-degree difference, so it wasn't that bad.
Her balls.
Yeah, I heard walls too.
And free. We do have a radio station called The Range.
Get that out of my face. Just leave a hot
Yeah, this is either big grand now and we're getting shit on stuff, or it's kind of silent. You never know. I would say probably the most exciting thing we had was her 60 milligauss rating at the Pinckney Mansion site. So we'll kind of see what happens.
This entire thing's been real exciting to me.
Well, I look at like how much evidence we can get. Like how much does it catch in real time? And that kind of gives me the what am I going to catch when I go through. Sometimes there's so much in there because some people can't hear that. Like they're not attuned to it. It's not something normal that I have, listen to on a daily basis.
Right.
It's for me. So again, some people are like, I don't hear anything. It's like, that's okay. I have the recording. I'm going to go through it again tomorrow. Kind of help you out.
I keep like this is something I wanted to do for a really long time. So I'm like super excited about it. But I'm listening and like I'm just hearing all this noise, so I'm not really like picking up words. But I'm also not accustomed to it.
Right. So when I give you those 15 to 20 markers, when I give you your data back, that should help you because you can go right to the marker. I'm like, oh, it did say walls right there. Oh, it did say 22. That kind of thing. So you'll be able to hear what those specific things are. That's why I kind of do that because again, it's not easy to do. So people are like, why do you give me so much? I'm like, you need to listen because some of them are song lyrics. Some of it is, disembodied voice, which is a rarity. I'll catch a disembodied voice and cut it out so you guys have it by itself. At the Pinckney Mansion site, I have a couple from there. One of them saying, please leave us alone. Went back the next night, I'm like, I'm not going to leave you alone.
I apologize for the
Say
inconvenience.
baked beans breakfast on a reverse spirit box. Like a reverse spirit box is basically a man and a woman saying random words, and then they flip the audio backwards. I don't know how long the loop is. I tested it for an hour and was ready to. I tested it because I wanted to know how it worked. So when something comes through in forward motion, like and it's clear as day. You can't mistake it. So I heard baked beans breakfast from a woman's voice. Baked beans breakfast is apparently a dish over in England. I had no idea. So that spirit box said, "I'll fix you." I had baked beans
Part of
breakfast in
English.
real time, and then the word tea showed up. on
Part of
your-
an English breakfast.
What's that?
Part of an English breakfast.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Huh?
But we had a full sentence from 3 different spirit boxes. That's the crazy.
No, I mean, I'm not saying it's.
Check your words.
That's not.
All right, I think we're gonna call it.
Check the words.
I did.
We're gonna move over to that wall
I know, I'm just saying I want to see.
where I can start collecting, and you guys can ask more questions.
I'm saying that's not like the dish. It's part of
Oh.
English breakfast. Like you got eggs, you got sausage,
Yeah.
you got baked beans, biscuit. Basically all the yummy things in the world all together in one meal.